Hi there, I'm Melody DeCamp, and I'm coming at you from what I like to call Kickin' Ace. You heard that right. It is not the swear word. Get your mind out of the gutter. It is ASE, accountability, support, and encouragement. I am a regular, everyday woman. I have a full-time job that's incredibly demanding. I have 2 kids, a husband. I'm trying to stay healthy. I'm trying to keep a household. Oh my goodness, it's crazy. And I'm not always that great at it, but whatever. And I have just learned a lot of things over my whole life, but the past year that I can't wait to share with others. And I hope that I can provide accountability, support, and encouragement to other people out there in the world. So thank you for joining me on this video. Today, the topic is calorie deficit. What is a calorie deficit? How do I do it? And Mel, what are some tips and tricks that you have? So I really hope that you enjoy. It's a webinar that I did record. The other day, I had a group of girls get on a live Zoom. It was really awesome. We had lots of fun. It was a lot of good conversation about health and wellness and tips and tricks and what some of their thoughts and needs were. So I hope that you enjoy it. If you want more after we're done, I'd love for you to hit the subscribe button, whichever corner it's in. I would also love for you to join my email list. I won't be doing daily emails, I promise. That is a major promise to you. I am very busy, so I really don't think it's going to be overwhelming your inbox. But I'd love for you to join so that if I have new content, I can send that out to you. That link is below. Also, find me on Instagram at KickinAce, KICKINASE. Pretty easy. Send me a message. And in the comments below, if there are topics that you're like, Mel, I really want to know this about you. I really want to know this about health and wellness. I really want to know how to do, how do I pick my foods and how do I exercise? How do I find time in my life to exercise? Please send me a message, send me an email, put it in the comments below. I hope you enjoy this information about calorie deficits.
Let's talk about calorie deficits and what a calorie deficit means. A lot of people are trying to get healthy constantly, and it's a tough thing, but the number one leading way for someone to lose weight and to eat healthy is to really pay attention to their calories. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today, and what is a calorie deficit and how do you figure that out? How many calories do you need to eat in order to lose weight? How many calories do you need to eat to maintain? And then, of course, you'll ultimately know how many calories that you would need to eat in a surplus or to bulk. In the end, I'm going to share some of my tips for success. And I can also share a few along the way, some of the questions that I've been asked, because some of you might have those very same questions. So I have to start with a disclaimer, and I say this all the time. I know I put this on Instagram, I put this on Facebook. I said it before I held a Zoom meeting. I am not an expert at all. And I do keep saying that on purpose because I don't want you to be misled in thinking that I am. I don't have any formal training. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a personal trainer. I'm not a health coach. Although more recently, I have looked at some quick online programs that I could possibly look into. But that's for another story for another day. So no, I'm not formally trained. I'm not formally certified in any of these things. I am simply sharing with you things that I've learned through reading books, through reading things online, through other people's experiences. When I use other people's information, I will always give them credit. But I'm also sharing with you my personal experience, both in the past 8 years, my whole life, but more recently over the past year as I've lost 42.3 pounds. So it's a little sensitive to share your weight in a chart with people that you may or may not know. But ultimately, I feel like you won't know what my story is, and my story won't feel real unless I show this to you. So this is my fitness pal. And I'm just going to tell you, if you don't have my fitness pal, you need to get it right now. My fitness pal is available on any phone, Android and iPhones. It's available on tablets, and it's available on the browser. Go to myfitnesspal.com. So you don't have to have a cell phone to use MyFitnessPal. MyFitnessPal is 100% free. There is a paid version, but you don't need to use it. You can use the free version. You're going to get ads from time to time, but just X out, it's fine. So I love MyFitnessPal. And the reason for that is what you're looking at on this screen is 8 years of data, 8 years of weight data for me. So along the bottom of the screen, it says 7/29. That is July 29th. So if you look all the way across those July 29th, there are 8 years showing there. And that first July 29th happens to be exactly 4 weeks after I had my first child. So I had my son Colston on July 1st. And on July 29th, I decided that it was time for me to take um, it into my own hands and start tracking and start to lose that baby weight. I had gained 40 pounds when I had him. Well, I gained 80, but there were 40 extra left on me really, ultimately in the end, after having him. So I think, anyways, that's another story for another day. So you'll see here that I yo-yoed like crazy. I mean, I started in the 160s and then it went down a little bit, and I used Weight Watchers. Weight Watchers is wonderful, and I'm not going to discredit the fact that their program works. What I found in my experience is that it teaches you points, but then when you don't use the point system anymore, it doesn't really help you to learn so that you can keep it off without using points. So you're kind of stuck to this point system. I never went to a meeting, so I never got the experience of other people in that group kind of peer pressure type situation. I did it all online and it worked. I mean, I did lose weight. As you can see, I got into the 140s with that. But very soon after that, I ended up pregnant again. I had my daughter. And so as you can see, there was a little spike. And then after I had her, I decided I needed to really become more active. I was not a person that exercised ever. I didn't exercise in high school. I didn't exercise in college. I went to the gym like 4 times total in 4 years. It wasn't my thing. So I started running, and I had some friends that were runners, um, and I lost a good amount of weight, as you can see. I mean, that was really awesome. Didn't really change my eating a whole lot, but I did run a lot. So I burnt a lot of calories. I would say I was more conscious of what I was eating. So I think that ultimately did decrease my calories. But I was definitely more conscious. As soon as I stopped running, boom, went right back up. So then that time I said, I need to get serious, and I really need to lose this weight for good. So I decided to use my Fitness Pal again religiously. My Fitness Pal made me eat 1,200 calories a day. And now I know better. That is below my basal metabolic rate, which I'm going to teach you about in a minute. And that's not healthy. That's really bad for your body. That is not enough food for my body to be fueled for my vital organs to function. I was not eating enough. But I started a diet bet. Now, diet bets can be amazing because you're paying money to be motivated to hit a goal. And when you hit that goal, you win more money. So I did a 6-month diet bet. And in that 6 months, I lost 10% of my body weight. And in August of that year, so it looks like that low point is on 7/29, but it was actually like the first week of August. My family always goes to NASCAR at Watkins Glen. And I took my scale with me in the camper so that I could do my final weigh-in. And I weighed in under my goal, and I was thrilled. So I took that weigh-in picture. They've got a whole system to make sure that you're actually doing it and it's you. There's a lot of pictures you submit and things, but anyway, that's different. I won that, and I sat there waiting for my bank account to fill up with this money. And I ended up winning like $280, but it ended up being pretty much exactly what I paid in over the months, or actually less a little. So it wasn't really worth it. And I stopped. I stopped everything, like everything. I no longer was counting my calories. I ate whatever the heck I wanted. And I definitely went on a major binge fest. And so my weight, if I go into my Fitness Pal and look at that exact moment when I had that weigh-in, and I look 1 month later, I weighed 10 pounds heavier. And it just kept going because I didn't learn anything. I'm a person that can do a challenge. I can do a 30-day challenge and then stop. I can hit a point and then stop. You see 30-day challenges everywhere because anyone can do that. But can they do something and sustain it for life? And that is really what we're talking about today. So then, as you can see, things just got worse. I mean, I yo-yoed. I did some Biggest Loser contests at work. So you'll see a couple of dips, but ultimately my weight just kept getting higher and higher and higher. I did a little bit of a carb cycling meal plan. I paid somebody $75 to make me a meal plan. It worked, but I didn't want to, the next month, I didn't want to pay him another $75. So I didn't buy the next month's meal plan. And I just didn't want to do that anymore. That's a lot of money. And I feel like, again, somebody was doing it for me. I wasn't learning. So you really do. It's all about learning it and absorbing it. And then, as you can see, this past year, enough is enough. And I did my research, and I started at a really low calorie amount, but I'm not there anymore. I started at 1,300 calories, I think it was. But today I eat roughly 15 to 1,600 calories a day, and I'm still losing fractions of a pound every week. I don't need to lose a ton of weight. I'm actually not really looking to lose weight, but I am still cutting, is what it's called. And of course, that's something I can share in the future, what that is. But I eat a lot more, sometimes not even all of my calories, and I still can lose. So guys, you can do this, and it can be sustainable, and it doesn't have to feel like the world is ending and like some big, huge change. So it took me 7 months to meet my initial goal of 40 pounds. I wanted to weigh 140 pounds, and I was just under 180, weighing in at 179 the day that I started. A couple of weeks before that, I had just gotten, or a week before that, I'd gotten back from Disney World, which was wonderful, but oh my gosh, I ate terribly. And the scale was like 185. But immediately as I got home and kind of got back to normal, that adjusted out. I was inflamed. It was all the things. I did use a calorie deficit, but like I shared already, and I will share with you, less stress. I did not stress myself out. I worked out consistently, and I still do. That does not mean that I worked myself to death. I want to make sure that that's very clear. I will share with you some of the exercises and the programs that I've used and what I'm doing now at another time. But it was not crazy. Okay. I'm not talking 2 hours in the gym every day of my life. No, that is not something I'd want to do. I learned how to eat the right foods. I did use a paid app. It cost me about $160, but I think that you can learn all of those same concepts without that app, without paying $160. And I'd be happy to share. I won't share their program, but I will share how to eat healthy foods and pick the right foods. I allow myself to eat my favorites. I shared this with the group that I met with. I love pretzel flips, chocolate covered pretzel flips. A friend of mine works for the company that produces them. She gave me a bag. You can have 5 of them for 150 calories. So I usually let myself have that because I love it. And they're kind of good size. So I'll eat like 1 here and there, or maybe I'll eat like 3 and then an hour later 2 or whatever, but I account for it in my calories. Okay. And then in January, you'll see that my weight kind of started to decrease again. And that's because I started a new weight training program. And really my focus is not on losing weight. It's on losing body fat percentage, but naturally when you lose body fat percentage, you're going to lose some weight too. So 130 is not my goal. My goal is just to decrease my body fat percentage, but I had to put something in, whatever, in this chart. And so naturally I am still losing a little, but I'm really just trying to get rid of some of that last fat that's like around my midsection because I'm a woman and that's where it lays. So let's talk calories. What on earth is a calorie? So this is the bulk of the information. So I'm sorry I talked about myself for a long time, but I just feel like I can't share with you what I know without you knowing what I've experienced. So calories, what is a calorie? Well, there is an official definition of a calorie, and it's something to the effect of, it is the amount of energy that it takes to increase water temperature by 1 degree Celsius. Cool. What does that mean in real life? Calories are energy. So when you are moving and existing and your body is functioning and you're exercising, you are burning calories. On the flip side, when you eat food, food has a certain level of energy that it's providing your body. Therefore, you are eating and increasing your calorie intake. So that's really a very general explanation of what a calorie is. But everything you put in your mouth has calories. Even lettuce has like 10. Okay. Because it does serve a purpose. It has energy, but some things have more calories than others naturally. So the first really important number that you have to know is your basal metabolic rate. What is your BMR? Your BMR is the amount of calories that your body needs to be able to maintain vital functions, for your organs to function. So remember earlier when I said that I was eating 1,200 calories a day, and I don't even know what my BMR, I think it's 13 something. I was eating less than my basal metabolic rate. That's so not healthy. I mean, that is stopping my brain from working. That's not okay. Okay. And so, and that would be true if I had done that over time for a long period of time. But it's really important that you know that number. And I'm going to teach you how to find that number in just a few minutes. So, once you know that number, you know how far you can go without getting too far. Okay. Next number that's really important is your TDEE, which is so weird to say, but that stands for your total daily energy expenditure. So what is that, Mel? Well, that is the amount of energy that you burn in a day. Now, it's different from your basal metabolic rate because your basal metabolic rate is literally if you just laid in bed for 24 hours, that is the number of calories that you burn existing, doing absolutely nothing. Your TDEE is your basal metabolic rate plus the energy that you burn through working. If you have a job that you walk a lot, if you sit in a chair, you're still burning calories by sitting up in a chair. You're burning more calories sitting up than you are laying down. So your TDEE is an estimate of the amount of calories that your body will burn based on your typical movement, not the extra exercise necessarily, your typical movement. Digesting food burns calories. So every time you eat, you increase your calorie burning just a little, not enough to counteract the food, but just a little. Now your TDEE changes every single day. So it's hard to really nail down the exact number of calories that you burn every day because it's going to depend on your movement. So some days when I'm at work, I sit in my chair a lot. This week, there are no students and no teachers in the building. So when I go to work, I basically sit in my office and sit in meetings. But when the kids and the teachers are back, I'm walking all over the place. Sometimes it really depends on the day. So different days I burn different amount of calories. And then I come home and I choose to work out. And when you do work out, that does increase your TDEE. But I don't want you to use that to think about your calorie deficit because you really want to think about your norm and know that anytime that you exercise, you're adding benefit. Okay. So we're not going to talk about that yet, but just know that this can change and it really does depend on your day. So you're going to take a few minutes to calculate your basal metabolic rate and your total daily energy expenditure. I do have a worksheet that I know I sent any of the folks that were interested in joining me in the Zoom. And I'd be happy to send that to you as well. I'm going to give you a link where you can subscribe for me to send emails. It's just easier for me to send a big chunk of emails out to everyone versus individually. You're going to need to enter your weight, age, your height, and your activity level. You're really going to want to think about that. If you sit most of the time, you're going to want to say little to no activity. If you're in a job where you're walking all day, always standing, you might want to go one notch up. But I really caution you from using the higher levels unless you really truly are doing some rigorous, like if you're like a lumberjack and you're chopping wood all day, okay, you can go with the more rigorous stuff. So I want you to pause the video and I want you to go to this website, legionathletics.com/tools/TDEE-calculator. Legion Athletics is amazing. This website is full of information. It's created by Mike Matthews, who is one of my favorite people. I read his book, Thinner, Leaner, Stronger. He is a normal average guy that lost a bunch of weight and then learned how to build muscle and learn how to eat right. And I think he ultimately got some certifications. Wonderful human. I swear by his work. Go to his website, pause the video, find your BMR and TDEE. See you back in a minute. Okay, so you should have your BMR and your TDEE. If you don't have my worksheet, that's fine. Just write them down. Make sure you label them so that you know. Okay, so now we're going to talk about what a calorie deficit is. Well, first of all, calorie deficit is the absolute number one way to lose weight. When you choose any other diet, and we're going to talk about this in a minute, those ultimately work because they mind trick you into eating at a calorie deficit. Okay. It's a mind trick. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But eating in a calorie deficit means that you are going to eat less calories than your body burns. People get sick of hearing, eat less and move more, eat less and move more. Well, it's a little bit true. And I know it annoys people because it doesn't teach you anything. And I'm here to help you. But eating less calories than your body burns. When you do that, that will equal weight loss. If you eat the same amount of calories that your body burns, it's going to equal out the seesaw, and it's going to help you maintain. If you eat more calories than your body burns, you're going to be in a surplus and you will gain weight. But we are going to focus on the deficit. All right, here we are. Counting calories, the best way to lose weight and keep it off. Guys, it is the most sustainable, maintainable, easy way to lose weight and to sustain it. And you will learn from it. But Mel, when I do Whole30 or keto or Atkins or Mediterranean or high fat, it works great. And they don't have to count their calories. They just know that they don't eat certain things. True. Okay. But they're all based on elimination. And again, that is the mind trick that gets you to eat less calories. Everything is based on eating less calories. You cannot eat more calories than you burn and lose weight. So all of those diets are based on eliminating foods that tend to be higher calories, and therefore you eat less than you burn. So why not learn how to do that and eat all of the foods that you love? But I'm going to tell you first about those myths, because I'm not telling you that you shouldn't do them. Okay. Elimination is helpful and it does help some people. And I'm also going to say that there are some people that have medical issues or medical diagnoses where they have to eat an elimination diet. My father, my grandfather are both diabetic. They have to eliminate sugar or added sugars. That's going to save their lives. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about purely eliminating food for the sake of weight loss. I know people that have celiacs and other types of health issues or health concerns and diagnoses that really, like, they can't eat certain things. They if you have an allergy, you can't eat seafood if you're allergic to seafood. That is a different type of elimination. That is going to save your life. So please don't think that I'm talking to those of you that have a gluten allergy or sensitivity or any of that. Okay. This is simply the average person taking a diet in which eliminates a certain food group and says, don't eat that and you'll lose weight. So let's talk about it. But Mel, it works. I lose weight. You might. You're right. Like I said, it's because when you eliminate those foods, they are naturally higher calorie, and therefore you're naturally eating less calories. But Mel, I don't have to waste time tracking what I eat, measuring food, or reading labels if I do one of these other diets. That's not totally true, my friends. It's not totally true. You should always keep a food journal, because when you're doing an elimination diet, for example, if you are eating keto, you're going to want to keep track of the things you ate, because if you see a sudden weight increase, you're going to say, oh, gee, what did I do to make that happen? And you're going to go back and take a look. Also, remember, too much of any kind of food is going to cause a calorie surplus. So you can eat no carbs, none whatsoever, but you eat, 5 strip steaks or ribeyes. Yeah, you're getting packed with fat and protein, but you are eating like, oh my gosh, one ribeye has 1,000,000 calories in it, guys. Like, you're going to gain weight by eating all of that steak. Okay. So too much of anything is not good. But ultimately you are going to spend, oh my gosh, millions of minutes and seconds and hours planning your meals and reading endless food labels, because you have to make sure that you're not eating certain foods. And sometimes you can't figure that out without digging into the ingredients on the food label. Not to mention, you're going to have to meal plan anyway, because you got to know what you need in order to make keto work. So it's really not any different. But Mel, I can lose weight and I can do it fast. You know what? That could be true. If you cut out all of your carbs, most carbs are kind of higher calorie. So you cut all those out, you're probably going to eat at a serious deficit and you're going to lose weight fast. But as soon as you start eating carbs again, guess what? Boop, here it goes right on back. And let me tell you, it comes back even faster than you lost it. But Mel, I can't eat whatever I want if I'm trying to lose weight. So I might as well just eliminate certain things. That might be true, but it's really not. You can eat anything you want on a calorie deficit. All right. Like I said, I love my chocolate covered pretzel peanut butter flip thingies. They're amazing. Do I eat a whole bag in a sitting? No, but I count for it. I plan 150 calories for my pretzel flips. I plan 200 calories for ice cream with a little bit of peanut butter on it. Sometimes you can get the powdered peanut butter and it's like way less calories and it tastes just as great. But side note, you can plan for the things that you want to eat. Guys, I like Blue Moonlight Sky. It's the little thin beer. It's yummy. I have one or two on a Friday, but it's on my calorie log. Okay. I know that I'm going to have that. Do I then allow myself to have 10? No. That's binging. You don't want to do that. But because I let myself have a little, I feel satisfied. I don't feel like I'm missing anything. So yes, calorie deficit, you can eat anything you want. You just have to be careful and you have to know what you're eating and you have to plan for it. Okay. Oftentimes when people eliminate certain foods, like if you eliminate carbs and then all of a sudden you're like, today's my cheat day, you will eat, oh my gosh, and it'll make you sick. Like you'll eat way too much and then you'll eat all that sugar and then your body can't handle it and it will literally make you sick. So it's just really important to remember that. But Mel, carbs are bad for you. Oh, hand to forehead. Guys, carbs are so not bad for you. In fact, you need carbs. Carbs help your body in so many ways. There are nutrients in carbs that you need. Carbs provide you with energy. Protein and fat does not provide you with energy. What was it? A Rachel Ray show. I think some guy actually did an experiment and he spent like 1 month eating high fat and high protein. And he spent another month eating like high carb or something. And he felt awful when he didn't have the carbs because he didn't have any energy. So it's super important to eat carbs. You just have to calculate what you need and figure out what works for your body and make sure you're staying in your calories. Okay. Sorry for that little sidetrack on elimination diets, but I got to be honest. I considered keto at one point in time, and I'm so glad I didn't go that route because I could never sustain that. Like I like too many things that are carbs. Ice cream is like a staple in my household. I couldn't have it. And I can't do that. I want to live my life. You only live once. And I want to eat things I want to eat, but I also want to be healthy. So I wanted to share with you. It's a little bit of a thing that irks me, but whatever. It's my passion. All right, back to you. We're going to talk about calculating your calorie deficit. So this is really what you guys want to know. You're going to start with your total daily energy expenditure. Now, remember, I said there are going to be certain days where that number is higher than others if your job fluctuates. But if your job does not fluctuate, then your TDEE is probably going to be pretty consistent. Okay. So you may in the future want to figure out what's my TDEE on the days that I'm working in a desk and what is my TDEE on weekends. If maybe now you decide that you want to get a job on the weekend where you're a server. I mean, you're going to be all over the place, right? Your TDEE is going to look different. All right. So you're going to take your TDEE. I gave you a sample, but let's just go with an example verbally here. So I have a person whose TDEE is 1,945 calories. That means they should eat or that they burn 1,945 calories a day. If they ate that many calories a day, they would keep their weight the same. They would maintain. Okay. Now, that person wants to lose weight. So you are going to subtract 300 to 500 calories. Why is there a range, Mel? There's a reason. 300 calories will help you to lose right around 100 calories per week. 500 calories will help you lose about 2 pounds. I don't know if I said that right. 300 pounds will help you lose 1 pound per week. 500 calories. I think I said it wrong again. You guys are going to kill me. 300 calories. If you take 300 calories away, it'll help you lose 1 pound per week. 500 calories will help you lose 2 pounds per week. I do promise that I can read. Here is the number one thing for you to remember. In my fake person, 1,945 calories is their TDEE. They are ambitious. They want to lose 2 pounds a week. So they want to cut out 500 calories, but their basal metabolic rate is 1,496 and their 500 calories is 1,445. That's below their BMR. Do not go below your BMR. Therefore, that person, their calorie deficit goal is going to be their BMR. It is going to be 1,496. It's really important that you remember that. Don't go under that. Guys, if your calorie deficit goal, 500 calories less a day, is like 1,000 calories, that is not okay. You cannot do that. You have to look at your BMR. You have to fuel your body so that your body can function and so that you don't start to see other health issues arise because of a calorie deficit. Okay, so now you have your daily goal. You know what your daily goal is. My fake person's daily goal is 1496. Okay, so that's your daily target. So every day you're going to shoot for eating that many calories, but wait, not yet. I want you to hold on, stop, slow down. Can you start eating that tomorrow? Sure. But the one problem with any type of dieting that causes people to quit almost instantaneously is that they're already eating over their total daily expenditure. So my fake person is probably eating way more than 1945 a day. Let's say they're eating 2,200 calories a day. And now I want them to all of a sudden start eating 1496. That is such a drastic change that one, if that person doesn't know anything about good foods and foods that have like higher calories than others, they're going to feel failure almost immediately. They're not going to know how to decrease their calories that fast. They're not going to understand, which foods are the ones they could choose over others. They're not going to be able to track properly. It's going to be hard. And you know what happens to those people? When you feel failure like that, you quit. You say, forget this, I'm not doing it. So do something different. I recommend a gradual decrease in calories. Now, this is not something that I've read in a book. This is not something that I've found anywhere. This is just the thing that makes the most sense. So I have a fitness influencer on Instagram. Her name is Jessie Hildebrand. She's amazing. And she talks about this concept of reverse dieting, which is something totally different. And I will love to share that with you, but not today because it's totally different than calorie deficit. But when she taught me about reverse dieting, this popped into my head. And I was like, oh my gosh, people that are eating, like vastly overeating or have no idea what they're eating, can't start at their deficit target like right away. You're going to feel failure and and I know it. I've seen my husband do it. I've done it myself. Like you give up because it's like, oh, I can't do this. I don't know how to make it work. I need help. Right. What I recommend you doing is start by eating for 1 week. I want you to track your calories and eat just your total daily energy expenditure. So for my fake person, it's 1,945 calories. So every day for the first week, if we were starting on Monday, February 22nd, that person is going to plan for, track, and eat 1,945 calories every day. The next week, they're going to drop that by 100 calories. So that first week is just going to be getting used to the system. If they were already eating over their TDEE, then they're going to start to see positive changes already. But we're going to start decreasing slowly. So the next week, you're going to decrease it by 100 calories and you're going to eat 1845 every day for a week. Then you're going to decrease another 100 calories and you're going to eat 1745 every day for a week. Guys, by then you're going to start to see weight loss. You don't have to jump 500 calories immediately to see a positive change in your body. You can do a slow progression. It's okay. Your body will adjust and it's going to learn and it's going to understand that you're eating less calories. So you don't have to go there. And honestly, you might get to the third week where you've only dropped 200 calories and you're like, ooh, this is good. I see the weight going off by like a half pound to a pound a week. I'm going to be able to sustain this. I can still go out to eat and feel like I can eat with my friends. I can have that glass of wine. I can eat my chocolate pretzel flips. Like you're going to see a positive change. You don't have to lose 2 pounds a week to be happy and to lose weight. Is it going to take longer? Well, sure, but it's going to be sustainable and you're going to feel success. So think about that. Okay. Do you have to go week by week? No. That's just my idea. I think that gives you a lot of time for learning, but you don't have to go a pound or 100 calories a week. You can do it in 4 or 5 days. Every 3 or 4 or 5 days, change your calorie intake if you want it to go faster. Listen to your body. That's the only thing I'm going to say. And if you're tracking your progress, you're going to see that progress hit before you even touch 500 calorie deficit. I promise. So again, yes, it could take forever. It could, but that's okay. Are you in a rush? Are you in a competition? Guys, your health, I really recommend that your health not be a competition. Okay. I really do. And this is why I want you to hear me out. Don't let it be a competition. That diet bet was wonderful. Yeah, it motivated me. I wanted money. But guys, I stopped. I didn't learn anything. I just knew that I needed to get to a target. And when I got there, I was done. I met my goal and I'm done. Earlier this year, I ran a half marathon with one of my friends and we trained our tushes off. And afterwards, I didn't run for 3 weeks because I was like, oh my gosh, I hit my goal. I'm set. Now I'm running again and I signed up for another one. But our human brains are naturally wired to complete a challenge and, to feel that success and to do that. But then we just quit. It's like a game. Don't let your health and wellness be a game. Don't make this a deadline. Yeah, I get it. You want to lose 68 pounds by summer. I'm here to tell you that's not going to happen. You could eat 500 calories less a day and you are not going to hit 68 pounds or 70 pounds or 90 pounds by June or July. That's not going to happen. But, is it better to hit 20 pounds by June and then maybe 70 pounds by next October, November than to do nothing at all? Think about it. Sometimes time is okay. So again, you should only lose 2 pounds a week. The first week is always the best. All right, guys, you're going to make a change to your body. If you do a significant decrease the first week and you don't do the gradual, because I'm not going to tell you what to do. You don't have to do my gradual program. But if you start right off with 500 calories, you're going to see a decrease whoa, the first week. And you're going to see 5-6 pounds come off and it's going to be like, woohoo, hallelujah, baby. And then it's going to go down to 1 or 2 and maybe even a half pound a week. And sometimes that's incredibly frustrating. And sometimes it happens. You get a plateau because your body is adjusting, right? So sometimes you have to tweak things. That's okay. Don't give up. Okay. The longer you take to lose, the more likely you're going to keep it off. Why is that? It goes back to brain research and forming habits. If you take longer to lose weight, it's going to take you longer to lose you're going to be learning all of this new stuff about how to keep yourself healthy. And guess what? Those habits are going to stick. Goes back to the 30-day challenge. You can do a 30-day challenge, no problem, but you didn't learn anything. You didn't form a habit. If you do it for a year, you're never going to stop. I'm here to tell you because that's where I'm at right now. This is the first time I haven't quit. I met my goal in September, guys, September. It is February and I am still kicking it. You can do it. If you decrease by only 100 calories per week, per day per week, it won't feel like such a huge change. Like I said, if people are already eating well over 2,000 calories and they try to drop to 1,200, they're going to feel failure immediately and quit. Don't set yourself up for failure. Okay. This is the long game. This is a journey. This is your life. It is not a deadline. It's okay to go slow. And also, I did talk about reading labels for elimination diets. Well, yeah, you have to do that for calories too. But sometimes it takes some time to figure that out. And eventually you're going to be like, oh yeah, I know that 1 ounce, which is just about a little bit less than a handful of cashews, is 180 calories. Oh, I know that 2 cups of lettuce is 20 calories. I know that a half cup of ice cream is right around 190 calories, depending on the type of ice cream you're getting. You're going to learn those things. You're going to know them. But it's going to take a little bit of time. So the longer that you do this, the more that stuff is going to get committed to memory and it's going to help you learn. So now it's time for my tips. I've given you a bunch of tips already, but one of my favorite influencers on Instagram, her handle is actually right down there. It's Samantha Vallejo, I think you say her name. She's a registered dietitian. That's what the .rd stands for. She's amazing. It does say carb conscious dietitian, but I'm going to tell you, she does not tell you to stop eating carbs, which is what I love about her. But she put this quote up on Insta the other day and I had to share it. It's a slow process, but quitting won't speed it up. Don't quit. Nothing will happen. You'll be exactly where you are right now. So make small changes. Go gradual. It's okay. So my first tip, you have to be honest with yourself. Let that sink in a minute. You have to be honest with yourself because you're not doing this for anybody else. You're not doing this for your sisters, brothers, aunts, uncles, children, husband. I mean, subliminally, yes, you're doing this because you want to be healthy so that you can be around for your kids and you want to be healthy for your significant other or for your family. And yes, those things all matter. And you might have other reasons, right? Like my husband is trying to lose weight so that he can weigh less when he races a go-kart this summer. I'm not even kidding. But you have to be honest with yourself because ultimately you're doing this for yourself. So what does that mean? When you're tracking your food, you're weighing it. And when you're weighing your food, you are being as accurate as possible. It's not going to be, oh, I'm going to go grab a handful of chips and I think it's this much. No. You're going to figure it out exactly. If you sneak a pretzel flip, you're going to put that on your tracker. And guess what? Guys, if your calories go over, nobody is going to come to your house and smack you on the hand. Learn and do better tomorrow. It's okay. You're human. In fact, one of the apps that I now currently use recommends a refeed day every couple of weeks. So what does that mean? It's like a higher carb, higher calorie day, just to jumpstart your metabolism. It doesn't tell me when to do it. They have some guidelines, but every once in a while, it's okay to eat a little bit outside of your calorie goal. It's not going to ruin your day. Now, if you do it all weekend, yeah, you're going to see a major issue. It's my husband learned that the hard way. He spent an entire weekend eating kind of crazy, pizza, wings, all the things after he had just lost like 5 pounds the week before. Of course, I think it was only week 1. And then he like saw that scale go up and it took him another 2 weeks to get back to where he was. And he was like, oh my gosh, so be honest with yourself. It's okay if you go over calories. It's not the end of the world. You don't have to give up. You can keep going. Just be honest. Track everything. Helpful tools. Oh my gosh. I have so many, I can't even count, but there are 2 tools that I think you have to absolutely have. 1, a food scale. I have an expensive one from Pampered Chef and I have an $11 one from Target. Guess what? They both do the same darn thing. So don't worry about spending some crazy amount of money on a food scale. Make sure that it changes units. So you need to have ounces and you need to have grams because on a bag of chips, for example, it's going to give you the number of calories in, let's say 18 chips. And it'll say about 18 chips. Well, guess what, friends? Next to it in parentheses, it's going to say 28 grams. Guess what I want you to measure? I want you to measure the grams because I promise you when you measure the grams, it's not going to be 18 chips. It's going to be like 15 or 14. So if you ate the 18, you're eating more than the number of calories that they're telling you you're eating because it's all an estimate. Don't go with the word about. It's not okay. You have to weigh it. All right. Same thing with ounces. Food weighed like cooked foods. You're going to weigh those in ounces like meal. I'm sorry. I can't talk. Meats are often weighed in ounces. And then, there are some things that are in like half cups, like cottage cheese, a half cup of cottage cheese, things like that. Pay attention to the food label. How much is one serving? And you're going to use your food scale. You need a food scale. End of story. Another helpful tool, not a requirement, but I think it's kind of neat. I have an Apple Watch, but I think other smartwatches do this. I believe my old Fitbit used to do it. It has the app that connects to your phone. And I think you can get smartwatches for like $20-$30 on Amazon that don't have to be fancy. But one of the things that I love is that it tracks my heart rate and it tracks my steps. And then at the end of the day, I can go on my phone and it tells me about how many calories it thinks I burned that day. So it's basically giving me my TDEE for the day. Now, is it accurate? No, it's not. But is it an estimate? Sure. So if I go in there and it says, oh, Mel, you burned about 2,100 calories today. And then I know from my food tracking that I ate 1,522. Guess what? I ate at a deficit. Now, in reality, I might have only burned like 1900, but still it's a deficit, right? Like it's not way off. So it's really neat to have that. Is it a requirement? Absolutely not. But it's pretty neat when you can start to keep track of like, really, truly, I know how much I've eaten and how many calories I've taken in. And now this tool could essentially tell me what I burned. Did I eat less than I burned? Then you should see a weight loss. So that's really fun. I don't think I have to say this anymore, but track, 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 track. You have to track everything. Please do. Track, 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 track. If you exercise, track it. I don't want you to eat the calories that you gain from the exercise, but I'm just saying, like, right now, I'm just talking calorie deficit. You can lose weight without exercising just by eating at a deficit. Exercise boosts it. It also has a million other positive benefits for your body. So I'm not going to tell you that you shouldn't exercise, because you absolutely should, but you can lose weight without ever once stepping on a treadmill or running or any of that. So make sure you're tracking. Patience. I don't think I need to go into this one, but you have to have patience. If you eat too much ice cream, that did not ruin your whole day. You do not need to then have the rest of the day be a cheat day. It's okay. Just have patience with yourself. Weighing yourself daily, and I say caution, and there's a reason for this. There are many people out there that will argue, nope, weigh weekly, weigh daily, weigh weekly, weigh daily. Well, here's the reality. Your body does fluctuate as the days go on and throughout the day. So you can weigh yourself daily. That would be great. That's what I do. But weighing yourself daily, depending on you and who you are and your personality, can also put you into a tailspin, because your weight might say 153 today, and tomorrow it might say 152.6, and you're like, woohoo, it's going down. And the next day, especially if you're a female, I'm sorry, if you're a male, TMI, the next day you get your period, and that sucker goes up to like 154.8, and you're like, what? And then you want to give up. So if that's going to put you into a tailspin, don't do it. Just weigh yourself weekly, weigh yourself monthly. Who cares if you use the scale at all? You can find progress through measuring yourself. You can take your measurements, get like a Taylor tape, or they actually make these really cool retractable measuring tapes for measuring your body. That's what I use. I love it. But I also have Taylor tape too. But you can do any of those things and see your progress in your body getting smaller versus looking at a scale. Take before and after pictures, or progress photos is what I call them. I took one on day one, and that's the one I keep sharing with everyone. And I look horrendous. I didn't smile. That's a key in your progress photos. If you don't smile on the first one, it always looks terrible. It doesn't matter what your body looks like, because the rest look great because you're smiling. No, but in reality, the first one, if you want to take your beginning, and then I've right now I'm taking every 2 weeks, I take progress photos. And the reason why I do that is because I'm doing a weightlifting program. So I want to see my progression over time. I'm doing a 1-year challenge. So I want to see that every 2 weeks. And right now, I mean, I'm seeing minimal change from week to week, but when I pull up day one and I look at the most recent one, it's like, whoo, that looks awesome. So it's really fun. But you might want to do monthly, whatever works for you. And then you can do fitness tests. If you get into working out and you want to try that, I can help you with that. I won't talk about it now, but that's another way to measure progress. But guys, if weighing yourself daily is going to throw you into a tailspin, please don't do it. But it is a good gauge. Like, you can look at it and say, oh man, I went up like 1.5 pounds. What happened? Oh, I got my period. Cool. I know that's what happened. Like, it has nothing to do with what you ate. You get bloated, you're inflamed and swollen. Like, all of those things happen in your body. Hormones go nuts. That's what happens. But when it comes to, not a hormonal incident like that, or if you're a gentleman who doesn't have that issue, then you might see the scale go up a little bit because you ate a ton of salty things. If you had a lot of sodium the day before, your body is going to retain that water and you're going to see an increase. You might have hit your calorie target, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that you ate more than you should have. It's what was in your food. So those are the things that you'll be able to learn by watching the scale. You'll learn that your body has a cycle it goes through. Like, you'll lose a little bit of weight and then plateau for 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden lose a little bit of weight and then plateau. Those are the cool things to do. Keep track of it. I recommend My Fitness Pal because it's free. But please don't let it cause a ton of stress and anxiety, because if it does, then I don't want you to do it. Okay. And then last but not least, please stay the course, guys. Like I said, if you screw up, oh my gosh, I go on a weekend and we go out to eat and I forgot to track. Oh my gosh. It doesn't mean that you wake up the next day and throw it all out the window. The next day you wake up and you do better. That's what you do. We're humans. We can screw up and fix it. It's okay. It's not, there's no deadline. This is not a race. This is not a challenge. This is you getting healthier. So stay the course. If you see a plateau, stay the course. I can tell you I had 2-week plateaus last spring and it drove me bonkers, but I stayed the course. And then all of a sudden one day I got on the scale and it was like 3 pounds less. It's like, what on earth? Like, how does that even work? I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I couldn't tell you, but it worked. It happened. I stayed the course. Don't give up. It is hard, but you don't have to make it harder. Just stay the course.
Hey there. So I hope that you enjoyed the information. Again, like I said before, if you're looking for more or if you have questions, which I'm sure you will, there were a few things throughout that video that I said, this is a conversation for another day or a story for another day. I would love to have another day. So please tell me, what is it that you want to see next? Put it in the comments, send it to me in an email, or find me on Insta and you can send me a message. Thanks guys so much. I appreciate you tuning in. Good luck to you. Bye-bye.